So going back to like what you were talking about, this is the thing that's crazy to me. This is, I think, one of your talents, dealing with 200 people. Like cookies at this point, right? There's like different factions within cookies, right? You're kind of the power center, right? Let's just, kind of diagram it like that. But there's all these different licensing groups that come into play, right? So how do you manage that, and how is like, I kind of want to jump into that whole arena.
Like at the end of the day, you just have to you have to be a leader, man. Like you have to be a leader, and you have to understand that like not everything's gonna go perfect. So you have to be able to adapt with change. And so like at the end of the day, like, dealing with all those people is tough. And I just have to just kind of keep myself focused and remember what I'm trying to do. So I think the biggest challenge is that you'll partner with somebody, and this person will have an incredible amount of talent. There'll be hardworking people. There'll be talented cultivators or talented operators. You partner with them, and they get some kind of juice and emotion they've never felt or seen before. And then they think it's easy, and they want to kind of build their own thing, right? And they want to build their own thing, and they want to do it on their own. And then what you guys partnered on is not really that valuable to them anymore, and it kind of starts to fall apart a little bit. And then you have to kind of reapproach that partnership. And so that's the hardest thing about it. But I like the challenge of like being a leader and like having a bigger vision and keeping people aligned with that vision, because if we do it right, we all eat, we all win, right? And so these partnerships are, like I said, not anyone could do it. They're hand selected by us, and we trust people and we give them trust. And sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it doesn't work out so great. But I think it works out great more often than it doesn't work out. And the few times that it doesn't work out, you just kind of learn more and more about like, all right, next time we do a deal with someone, we should probably ask them, what is your long-term goal? Like, what's your vision? Like, what would be a home run for you besides just doing this cookie store? Like, do you have visions of building a brand? If you do, like, can we do that together so it's not feeling like it's a competitive thing? We can let each other build together. Don't build around me, build with me. And so that's been my new approach, is like, look, if there's something you want to do in this store, if you want to pop a brand off and have it on the shelf, if you're a cultivator, I'm good with that. Let's just make sure we know what that is. If you're a store operator and you want to bring in some friends, brands, and stuff like that, let's just be aligned on what that is. Let's make sure it's about quality and not just favors. And so, at the end of the day, managing a lot of people is not easy, but it's allowed us to expand pretty fast. And it's allowed me to work with some fucking dope ass people around the country and around the world. Like the fact there's people in Thailand cultivating bomb ass weed for me right now is amazing. And I get to see the videos, and the fact I've met QC people I've been able to build with in Thailand to source product and call me and say, Burn, I'm smoking it right now, but it ain't really burning the way I want it to burn. I'm like, good, brother. Let me know when you find what. And so I'm able to work with people, right? And so you have to put trust in people, but that's something that I feel like, besides collaborating with people, we're putting people in position, we're helping uplift people that wouldn't have a place in this industry right now. So I feel good about it. I like it. I have fun doing it. And it's a risky way to go about things, but I feel like I have, the
risky
the
in which way? I mean, you have more people. Inherently, you're gonna have more exposure to different.
Just risky in the sense that like people could leak genetics, people could like again try to build around you, or try to build things from your stores that like end up being a competitor to you. But when you're comfortable in your own skin and you know what you got, then it doesn't really bother you like that. You know what I mean? So it could be risky in the sense that you'll build with somebody, and somebody might want to turn on you one day and build something else, but I don't look like that as an issue. It could fold some other people. If you don't have thick skin, if you're not prepared, if you're not comfortable where you are in life, then it could fold an average motherfucker fast.
Absolutely. And so like with the licensing, right? So it's almost like, I mean, there's a lot of different, I think, methodologies you guys have used in my kind of research. But for example, like you have different like groups, and then there's individuals, right? And like, for example, like say TRP, right? That's a partner with you guys, right? And so they manage certain stores. Do they go out and find licensees to manage themselves? So is it like kind of three levels? Or?
It's kind of like, I've seen them do it multiple different ways. They've done it to where like they'll go find someone to manage a store, and they'll kind of like be the middleman for it because they have rights to certain markets. Or like in Florida, they'll be for
so they bought the rights to certain markets, and so then they handle. Okay.
So like in Florida, they're vertically integrated. So they do the cultivation, they run the stores, and there's multiple other stores that they run. Like we work with TRP's groups on like marketing and branding and what we think should be on the shelf, etc., activations, stuff like that. And so there's stores that they operate, and there's a few stores that other people operate. I think most like the social equity stores, other people operate. Like we have multiple stores with them where social equity partnership where they kind of run that store. And
How many partners do you think total? Like you said, 200 roughly.
I just throw that number out there. I mean, for when it comes to cultivation and storefronts, definitely over 200. Yeah, I think so.
Wild.
When you think about like manufacturers, co-packers, distributors, storefronts, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Before we jump back into the content, I want to say big shout out to our homies over at Dr. Smoke. If you guys go to drsmoke.com, use my code LMC, you're going to get 15% off your entire order. They got all different types of products, brands, all delivered, all compliant, all legal. They got mushrooms, they got Steezy, they got Mike Tyson's brand, they got cookies, they got all different types of stuff. So if you guys go over there, check out some of their products, use my code LMC, you're also gonna get, be supporting the channel. So very much appreciated. Anyways, big shouts out to our friends over at Dr. Smoke, and let's jump back into the content.
That is nuts, dude. Wow. That just sounds nuts, dude, trying to manage that many people.
I mean, if I don't sleep, bro, I be grinding.
So Parker, right? Obviously, how does he help you out with that, and how does he kind of fit into everything? I'm always curious about that. I don't even know what he looks like. Actually, I think I do. I don't even know what Parker. I've always heard his name.
Nah, man, I got to give a lot of props and give my flowers to Parker because he honestly taught me how to be actually how to structure my business. Mm-hmm. Look, before I met Parker, bro, and before I made him the president of my company, I would just do homie handshake deals. I mean, before Connected, it was my brother Jason in San Jose with a dispenser, and we popped it off. We threw cookies on the wall, and we grew a bunch of cookies genetics in the back of his store. We sold our bud to him, and it was a pop in that store. It was so pop in the city of San Jose, shut that bitch down. That bitch had lines going down the block. My boy Jason ran San Jose. And, then from there I went to Connected, and I did a licensing deal with Connected, and started realizing, it's good money because Connected, I still forever thankful for that partnership. It did three things. It was able to bring our genetics to scale in a bigger way. Yeah. Opposed like our little shady ass grows in the Sunset District. Like it was able to grow it in the scale so more people could touch what we're talking about.
Legitimize it, kind of build it up. Yeah.
It just made it more tangible. So shout out to Connected for that. They paid me good. And I think that both they've spoken about in interviews, I've spoken about in interviews. I'm thankful for that. But the one thing I noticed is they were raising money as cookies. And
that's crazy. Okay.
In their emails, I would see emails where they're like fundraising, and they're fundraising as cookies. I'm like, we don't own part of cookies. You have a licensing deal. And they had a licensing deal.
So that's what that's all from.
So they had a licensing deal for flour, and then I saw them starting to make hash and try to do pens and try to do edible. I'm like, hey, hold up. You have a licensing deal for flour. And I realized, this is cool, but I need to figure out how to structure my business, because I'll be the first one to admit, I'm from the game. I'm great at marketing and branding. I'm great at connecting the dots. I'm great at my networking, my relationships. I'm good at just selling bud. My team members and my partners are good at breeding bud, and so what we really missed was that business infrastructure. I never graduated fucking high school. I never really. Yeah. I'm a hustler, bro, but I didn't know how to structure a business. And so after a while, I think that we both kind of agreed that hey, it's probably better you guys start your own brand, go have your own destiny, because you're not cookies. As much as you tell people you're cookies and you're raising money as cookies, you're not cookies. That's my shit.
Did they actually get real money off of cookies, off a fundraise?
I'm sure they did great. Yeah. And they're still doing great.
Yeah. And shout out to Luke. Shout out to Caleb.
Bro, shout out to Luke and Caleb, brother. Shout out to you too. I haven't spoken to you in years, but just so they see this, because I'm at a point in my life, bro, I'm super level-headed at this time. There's no more outbursts of drama, and so thank you to them. But we just both realized that they're not cookies, and
they had to find their own identity.
They should start their own company, and so they transitioned to Connected while I was still working with them, and I promoted Connected for a little bit, and that's when I met Parker.
And then that's how that kind of came in.
And Parker kind of gave me up bro, we should structure this as a fucking company and build your own IP and build your own company, and let's go build our own stores. And at the time I met Parker, I was working with my partners at Cookies Maywood, and opening our first flagship store.
And that's Steve LaBelle, Surge, that
Yeah,
group.
yep. So that's when I was like, all right, this is a pivotal time in our career, because you have to understand, with the Connected deal, we left them with the Gelato 41, the Biscotti, all the things that had been blowing up for years. That was our SOP, that was our IP, that was our genetics, that was our shit. We had to leave that with them. We couldn't, in our separation contract, I couldn't use that anymore, which hurt. I'm talking about Sunset, Sherbet, Gelato 41, Gelato 33, Biscotti, all the things that was ours. We had to leave that with them. But I took the challenge. I'm like, all right, cool. That's when we came out with London Pound Cake, Gary Payton Cereal Milk. And that's when we opened up the Cookies Maywood and the Cookies Melrose store. And that's when I met Parker, and that's when we started forming our business.
What year was that around?
I'm terrible with years.
Yeah,
when we went red.
2017, 2018, right?
Boom. So when I sat down with Parker, he really gave me up on, this is how you structure a business. This is how you build a team. This is how you let go of some of these things that you've been holding on to so you can move further. And this is how we're going to be able to expand without having to raise hella money. And I love that idea, because I'm like, I don't want to dilute. And the fact that I still own the amount of equity I own in Cookies is pretty unheard of. Like when you look at unicorn companies, look at Apple, Steve Jobs had like less than 1%, something like that, right? And so I'm not going to get into what I own of Cookies, but I own a lot of Cookies, and it's very unheard of for someone in my position to own this amount of Cookies, but it's only possible because Parker gave me the game on how we're going to structure our business, how we're going to expand. We kind of treat it like tech a little bit.
100%. I mean, for anybody watching too, like, this is a kind of a great example of like, this is what's going to happen. This is what has to happen, is the culture, the streets, like they have to merge kind of with the business corporate.
Bro, I really like that you said that, because I look at a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people ask me, what's some advice you can give me? The number one thing I hear when people talk about me and my business is Berner went corporate. Berner's corporate. There's nothing wrong with
that.
There's nothing wrong with finding people that are smarter than you, that have knowledge that you don't have, and attaching what you have to that knowledge to expand your business and to make it legitimate. I got children, right? Another one on the way at 40 years old. And so I want to leave this business and my empire for my kids. And had I not partnered with people that had the kind of knowledge that Parker had, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now in this building right now. Look at this building.
You need to survive, bro. This is the thing, is like these people out here in the industry that are low key, let's be real, a lot of these people are people that are hurting in a number of different ways. But like, the people just get mad at success now,
because it's not even that everyone gets mad at success. People are scared of change. And the cannabis industry is a very small community, right? Yep. And they're used to living a certain way. And we're used to touching a brown bag right away. And we're used to getting money right away when we move something. But I'm building I make zero money off Cookies Cannabis side right now. I'm building for the big play, right? Big play, yeah. I'm reinvesting into everything we have in hyper growth mode right now, right? And so you can't be scared to adapt with change. And you cannot be scared to set yourself up for success and to build something that's real, right? And I think the thing is, if you're gonna do what I did with Cookies, then make sure you do what I did with Cookies, which is I still have full control. Everything creative comes through me. The menu planting and I worked on this last night, like at 12:30 a.m. with my partner Omar. I'm menu planning for 2024 and 2025 right now. I'm picking all the stuff that we have in our nursery that I want to see ramped up in every market. So the control is with me. The vision is with me, and the branding and marketing and creative side of things is with me, and the ultimate decision is with me. And this building that we're sitting in right now that has Cookies logos everywhere is owned by me. It's not owned by the company. And so if you're going to partner with somebody and you're going to build your business, you're going to start infrastructure, make sure that the person that you're partnering with or the group that you're partnering with understands that it's your vision, it's your brand, and they're there just to help
facilitate and build your exactly, yeah. And be careful too, like you got to let the right people in. There's sharks out there, they'll definitely get you.
Bro, there's been multiple times where we had a very important business decision and Parker said, brother, this is your shit.
Well, this is the misconception that I think a lot of people, and like, as I've, studied you over the years and started to, talk to you a little bit, I mean, there's a misconception for sure that you're kind of just like a figurehead. It's like, no, bro. You're like, bro, listen. Yeah, no, I know. I want to make that kind of clear.
People do just think that I'm just the face or a puppet.
Yeah, you're definitely not.
But the thing is, I wish that was the case. Yep. If that was the case, I'd probably be in a great fucking mood right now. But
a lot less stressed out.
I do everything. I'm extremely hands-on from everything, from menu planning to partnerships to negotiations to storefront design to fucking, you name it. I'm hands-on with everything, and I'm proud of that. But point being is that there was a very important decision to be made when, and it happened recently, and Parker's like, bro, this is your brand, this is your company, this is your vision. I'm here to back you. So whatever you decide you want to do in this situation, I got your back 100%. Don't ever forget that. And so it's like, if you find the right partner, right, like, it's not like they're going to be a yes man, but they're going to understand that when it comes to the vision, brand preservation, and mission, so long as it stays with you, you're the only one that can drop that bag. You're the only one that can fumble the bag.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Very well said.
I love when people say that. You're just the face, you're just a puppet.
Oh, yeah. Can.
It's convenient for people to justify how hard I work just by saying I'm just a puppet, because your boy is 100% dedicated to everything. I go to bed working, I wake up working. I get up at fucking 5:30 a.m. every day and just start mapping out my day and mapping out my shit. And I think sometimes the downfall to my mental health is being so hands-on, but this success to my business is being so hands-on.